Hey, what's up, everyone? This is part 2 of building an upvoting app like this with Xano and Bubble. Check out part 1 if you haven't seen that yet, but we're going to jump in where we left off. So we created the database, we created the API endpoints, and now I'm going to test out those API endpoints. So Xano actually has a pretty easy way of testing. You just click this run and debug, and then it gives you kind of like this JSON format way where you can just add in a title, description, and upvotes, and those are the inputs we have here, and then it'll check if it actually ran and show you the response. So it'll run this and then show you the response. Cool. So let's create a title, test, post, and let's create a description, test, post, description, and let's make the upvotes 5 just as an example. Then we can click run, and we can see that the result is a new post with a title, description, and upvote. So that worked well. Let's test the other ones. Let's test get all posts. To run and debug this, we don't actually need to input anything because there is no input, so we can just run it, and we can see that we're getting all the posts that we created. So all the IDs of the posts, the titles, descriptions. Must be we created empty ones at some point. But yeah, all right, let's jump back and see the upvote post, and let's test this out. So let's click run and debug, and we'll enter in the ID. So let's say we want the first post, and let's increment upvotes. Let's reset this. And we can see that we can choose an ID, let's say 3, and let's increment the upvotes by 1. So let's just see how many upvotes it has now. So if we go to post for YouTube, item number 3, we can see it has 0 upvotes, so it should be 1 afterwards. Back to the API tab, back to post for YouTube, back to upvote post, and back to run and debug. And let's click 3 and increment it by 1. So remember, we're just adding 1 upvote. So let's click run, and cool, we can see that there's 1 upvote. And just to like illustrate what this means, if we do -1, then we could see 0 upvotes for this post. Cool. Now that we have this all tested, let's jump into Bubble and see how we can connect this to Bubble. So first, let's just grab the endpoint. So we can copy the endpoint link here and go to our Bubble app. Okay, so we have a front-end design. I don't really go into how this is created, etc. But I'm assuming you have basic Bubble knowledge. If not, definitely check out Gregory John or BuildCamp's work on that. Let's go to the plugins tab, and let's add another API and click Xano connection. Cool. The next thing we want to do is create a post, and we will click post, and let's paste that endpoint. Perfect. Now we have to add in all the parameters we want to actually add, and this is going to be going in a workflow. So let's add parameters. I think we have 3. So let's copy those parameters that we need. So we need a title. So let's copy this, and let's make it public, and we should not blank. And the next one we need is description. Perfect. And last thing we need is upvotes. Awesome. All right, so that's it for creating a post. Let's create test post from Bubble, and test post from Bubble description, and let's give it a, we can allow blank for this one, but we'll just give it a 1 upvote. Then we can initialize the call, and we can see that it's been created, and we have the upvotes there, and the ID is 5. Perfect. That works for us. So that's to create a post. And when you uncheck private, it means we can make it dynamic in Bubble. So you always want to make sure private is unchecked when creating something. Cool. Let's collapse this, except for authentication, obviously. In this case, we're not doing authentication. In a future video, I may do that. The next call we are going to do is we're going to get all posts. So let's be this endpoint, and let's go here, and this is going to be a get all posts. This will be a data call, and we'll paste this endpoint here. And the next thing we're going to do here is we're just going to add a parameter called update, and we're going to make it not private. And I will show you later why this is important. This isn't a parameter we have here. We can enter literally whatever we want here. This is just for updating the search. So to make sure it updates whenever we update a post. So let's initialize this call and see that we can get, a list. It's just showing one of them, but we're getting all posts. Cool. I will go over why we added this later. I understand why it may be confusing. Cool, so now we have get all posts. Last thing we need is the upvote. Upvote, and this is going to be a post request because we're updating an item. Cool. Upvote. Oh, we don't want this to be a get. I want this to be a post. Save that. Yeah, that should not be a get request. It may actually be a patch. Post. Cool. All right, let's copy this endpoint and paste it here, and then we'll do an action. This is an action, and we have two parameters here. We have the ID, and then we have the increment upvotes. It's a bit of a long name. D, and we'll make this not private, and then we'll choose the increment. Let's copy that in too. Perfect. So ID, let's choose 3, and let's increment it by 1, and then let's initialize. If I remember correctly, we should have 1 upvote. Correct. All right, and it's returning the entire post. So that is good. Save, and we are set. We pretty much connected all the APIs. The next step is going to be to actually integrate it into the workflows in Bubble. I will do that in the next video. I will go over the actual workflows and how we actually build the interface for this. So thanks for watching here. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments, but in part 3, I will finish up this product that we just built actually pretty quickly. And I will also go over a quick review of Xano at the end. Thanks for watching.